What's up, guys? I'm assuming that I saw Marius fade the music down, so I'm assuming that we're going. This is me bartending in the time of coronavirus. I'm going to take this mask off now. I just wanted to start with it because I thought, well, because this is how I spend a lot of my day these days, is like going to the market. And anytime I go to the market or outside the house, I got to put one of these guys on. Plus, it leads me into like a little bit of business that we got to get through before I start here. So, couple of pieces of business that I wanted to get through. First of all, I wanted to direct your attention to Staggerly Goods. So Staggerly Goods is our apron sponsor. They've been our apron sponsor for a really long time, and they and Alfred, who owns and runs and makes all the awesome things at Staggerly, is actually making masks, and he's donating some of the proceeds to the World Health Organization. So go to staggerlygoods.com. And purchase some masks, and you will have an awesome, amazing mask made out of great material. But at the same time, you'll also have a mask that will have donated some money to a really good cause. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is my good friend Elliot Montero got together with a few friends and made a Twitch channel called The Hospitality Life, which you guys should check out. So The Hospitality Life is basically what they're trying to do is a 24-hour-a-day streaming channel with all sorts of cool industry-related stuff. So you should check them out at some point, and you can check them out at thehospitalitylife.com, I believe, and they're also on Instagram, so check them out. All right, today we're going to do something that I've been trying to get to for a really long time, but let's go to the comments first. The weirdest... Okay, I'm not reading that. He said something about having a weird boner, which is, interesting. Is this live? Yes, it is live, my good friend. All right, it's the little Poppy, but volume is fine. Okay, it's a little Poppy. Leandro, do you like Buffalo Trace for sours? I think lemon overpowers it. I know, I like it. I mean, honestly, I like to go with 100 proof whiskeys just because they are a little bit spicier. And then you get a little bit of heat with, bourbons are going to be a little bit more sweeter in character than, say, like rye whiskey or something. So I like something that has a little bit of burn to it and then also mixes with the ingredients and nothing overpowers it. I would not say that Buffalo Trace is overpowered by the lemon, but I would say that, sorry, I'm looking at my phone because Marius, this is how we are communicating during the stream. It's on my phone. And I thought he texted me, but he didn't. It was an old text. Anyway, I wouldn't say the Buffalo Trace is overpowered by the lemon at all. I mean, I think that they go really well together, but it's just not my first choice. But I do love Buffalo Trace, and I use it in a lot of stuff. Makes a great old-fashioned. Next up, hello from SoCal. Can you make something with Wild Turkey 101? Yes, but I don't have a bottle on me now, and it's been a little bit tough to get bottles, so I will indeed at some point. You're live on Twitch too. Yes, I am live on Twitch, but don't leave here for Twitch. Stay here. Can you make some suggestions of violet cocktails besides the Aviation Water Lily, which Steve the bartender has introduced me to? Violette, it does not really. There's not that much that Violette goes into. Other than there's the Water Lily, and then there's the Aviation, and there's one more that is escaping my memory. I might have to go look at my little black book, but I'll figure it out for you. But there is one more that really uses it. And then there's your own creations. All right, Darren Orange, thank you for the Mondays. Any fun nightcap ideas? Yeah, there's a ton of nightcaps on Barfly as far as just, I think the Velvet Rut that we did pretty recently is a really good nightcap idea, but anything I like anything with banana liqueur and creme de coco and whiskey. I would say go with those, and then or dry curacao. All right, Darren Orange, thank you, sir. Would love some cocktails using ancho reyes. Well, I want to kind of get into what we were going to get into because this is what I've been doing before these streams lately. So what I've been doing before these streams is I've been putting a little thumbnail on Instagram and then asking people to ask questions to kind of go over some of the things that is on their mind. A lot of people ask me lots of questions all the time. I like to get to them. So I want to try and get through that. And then we're going to do a little whiskey sour test here because it's something that is asked of me a lot. It's a technique that we're going to explore. But first, let's go to some of the questions that I got on Instagram. All right, let's see where we go. Let's get them in order. Would love to hear what other spirits liqueurs are essential, including ones you mentioned as workhorse spirits in the workhorse spirits episode. So here's the thing. There's a lot of essential liquors, and I think we talked about this in another stream, but as far as essential stuff goes, as far as like essential stuff goes, you really have to figure out what kind of bar you want to put together. So, for instance, someone who really loves to taste whiskey but necessarily doesn't want to do cocktails isn't going to have a whole different bar than someone who wants to do a wide variety of cocktails, who's going to have a whole different bar than someone who wants to do just like really, farmers market style cocktails, or people who just want to do classics. So, to have a really well-rounded bar, there's a lot of essentials that you need to have, and it would be really difficult for me to sort of just like list them out. I actually owe a couple people emails on this subject, which I will get to this week. I'm sorry, it's just been very busy on my end, but especially because Marius and I have been trying to figure out how to remote shoot so we can give you guys new episodes. We realized that some of the episodes that we're putting out right now that are older episodes that we kind of backlogged on Patreon are doing well, but not as well as something that's a little bit more timely, so we want to put some new episodes out for you guys. But, honestly, I think that having like really high quality, low cost spirits like Old Grandad, Beefeater, I don't know, take your pick of vodka, but you could do like Sobieski, or you could do like Russian Standard or something. I think that those, having those like well spirits, that's what I call well spirits, which are like easily replaceable spirits, are kind of a must in your bar, and that's what you sort of build on, and then you have to get into like what liqueurs you need to have and what amaros you need to have. But I could literally talk about it for 3 hours. Any stirred drinks involving banana liqueur that are not too sweet? Honestly, dude, if you go into our into my video backlog, you can check out a video for a stirred cocktail that I did with banana liqueur called, Winter Welcome. That's a great cocktail. It's one of my own cocktails, so that's why I think it's great, but I think you'll like it. It's not too sweet, old-fashioned style cocktail, and it has banana liqueur. If I'm stumbling on my words right now, it's because I'm being distracted by my children who are off camera making noise, and I can hear them. And I don't know if you can hear them, but I can hear them, so. It seriously can take years to build for a full built bar. Yeah, but here's the thing, as far as like essential bars goes, and it's true that Darren is right, but here's the thing is that like when I do cocktail videos, a lot of times people are like, okay, you used a bottle of Cynar, now how am I going to use the rest of this bottle of Cynar? And my whole point is like, don't just make all the Cynar cocktails to run through your bottle of Cynar. You make the one cocktail with Cynar, you put it aside, then you get another bottle, then you get another bottle. As you go through the videos, you're buying new bottles, and pretty soon you're going to have a very full, stocked up bar. And then the next time a Cynar video comes around, boom, you have the Cynar, you can make the cocktail, and you haven't drank it all. So while the point is to drink the liquor that you buy, at the same time, if you really want to kind of be judicious about what you're drinking, you can build up a bar rather quickly, depending on how much money you want to put into it. Because at the end of the day, this is a very, very expensive. It's a very expensive habit. It's an expensive but very fulfilling, I would say, hobby. What else? Will you feature some of the cocktails that were submitted for the competition that didn't make the cut? Yeah, maybe, yeah, possibly, yeah. There are some really good ones, so yeah, I possibly will at some point feature them somewhere. So I went ahead and made a whole bunch of them, and so I have like syrups and things and different infusions that I made for it that I should probably use. All right, guys, I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and then I'm going to get into the point of what we're doing. Marius is going to be writing in the text edit, so I don't know what he wants to tell me. Did you leave the lav connected to the camera? No, I did not. Is there a problem with the loose connection? No. No, I did not leave it connected on the camera side. I can check though. Let me go check the camera side and see what's happening. Audio is popping. Yeah, I know. Somebody said that. I changed all the batteries today. How about now? Well, I just checked all the connections by the camera, so these audio problems are like every week. Still, it's fine. Fuck it. Well, okay. That's what I want to say usually. I wish I could hear the audio so I could see how it sounds, but I don't know. All the batteries are good. I just kind of like loosened this connection, so I don't know. How's the audio? Is the audio bugging you guys? Popping is better now, perhaps. He had to stop talking. Yeah, maybe. It's tough to get me to stop talking, though. All right, educated. It's interference caused by the phone or something. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I could like put my phone offset here and see. Marius isn't using it like I asked him to anyway. I live in the border and would be amazed at the tax that U.S. puts on liquor. I buy all of my alcohol in Mexico and import it at $2. Wow, yeah. That is crazy. All right, anyway, I want to get pouring liquids out of bottles without dribbling at the end of the pour. Other than speed pours. Well, speed pours are going to be your very first thing, and then also you can do what people do when they're pouring wine, which is to sort of twist the bottle. So you can kind of like, at the end of the pour, you go like this. You're pouring, 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 and then just sort of twist. You just sort of like twist away. That also works. That's what sommeliers do when they pour wine, or waiters do when they pour wine. Still popping. Phone distance made no difference. Of course, it is not it is not the same thing. Huh. Nah, the audio is fine. Tiny pops, but not annoying. All right, well, YouTube may have gone in and reduced default stream quality to make more bandwidth. Do you think that homemade bitters is worth your time? Yes, absolutely. Make all the homemade bitters. It's definitely worth your time. And, you know, buying bitters is really expensive, so you should absolutely make homemade bitters. Okay, I want to get into the point of this, because I don't have a drink in front of me and it's depressing. So this is what we're going to do. The reverse dry shake. Okay, this is the thing. We're going to need 2 of these, and I also want to talk about some other stuff as well. And we only have an hour tonight, so the reverse dry shake. Let's talk about that. So whenever I make whiskey sours or gin fizzes, people ask me why I don't do the reverse dry shake. So if you guys don't know what a reverse dry shake is, basically when you do a whiskey sour, you build your whole drink in here, you put your egg white in here, you combine it without ice, okay, and then you shake. And that's called a dry shake. So the reverse dry shake is a technique of where you build everything in here, you put the ice in, then you shake, then you strain it into another glass, and then you extract the ice, and then you shake it without ice. And that's your reverse dry shake. And people say that the reverse dry shake gives you better foam. I don't think that that's true, though. I think that if you have really good shaking technique, it doesn't matter. So I got 2 glasses out here. Unfortunately, I don't have 2 of these, and I don't have 2 of these. I would have really liked to have done this in identical glasses, but alas, we are not. This is going to be the control, which is just our regular dry shake. This is going to be our reverse dry shake. And we are going to test the reverse dry shake. Will we get better foam in this one? Because we reverse dry shaked it than in this one. And we're going to put this to bed right now because I get a lot of questions about this. I get a lot of comments about it. I get a lot of people asking why I don't reverse dry shake. I want to have a whiskey sour right now. So we're going to really get into this and test it out to see whether or not this is true. For me, I think the reverse dry shake is a myth. I think it is a very easy way for people who don't have or who are very new at shaking. I'm not going to say they don't have good technique. I'm just going to say that they're very new at shaking. And so because they're new at shaking, they get better foam. But I don't actually think that it's true. So I'm going to use very similar pieces of ice. And I'm also going to use, I'm going to shake for the exact same, I'm going to actually count off my dry shake on each one. So it's the exact same amount of time. So let's get into making it so I can have a drink too. All right, I left everything in the fridge, by the way, which is what I do on these streams. All right, here we go. Whiskey sour. All right, when you are making whiskey sours, you want to use one big piece of ice. The reason why is because a big piece of ice will give you less dilution and it will give you superior foam. I'm going to cut a little bit of this ice away, or maybe I'll cut this one in half. I think that's actually a better, yeah, I'm going to cut that one in half, okay? So we have very, very similar pieces. I don't think we need two big, huge pieces. So I'm going to go through the specs with you guys as well, just, you know, even though we all probably know how to make a whiskey sour at this point. Oh, I got to get the eggs out of the fridge. Let's get the eggs out, sorry. Huh, what the? Really? I guess we, oh man. Well, apparently we used all the eggs, so I can't do my test. Oh man, we used all the eggs for breakfast. That really bums me out. So I'm just going to, and that is a hard-boiled egg. That's not even an egg. All right, I guess I'm not making whiskey sours tonight. I'm gonna go mix myself something else and answer questions because my whole live stream just went down the drain because I did not buy eggs at the market today. Unless I have some. Yeah, oh well. That's a bummer. All right, plan B. I'm not even gonna bother to chill the glass because I just want to have a drink now. I think I'm gonna make it in Manhattan. Put that away, put this away, man. Oh, I see somebody did a super chat, so I'm gonna have to get to you. I guess we're finishing off our bottle of Old Overholt right now. Ooh. Oh, just a half an ounce under. Gotta grab another rye. I'm gonna do a little, what we call infinity bottle. I'm gonna finish it off with some Jack rye. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Oh. All right. Who is that? I have a bourbon question. In my country, it is hard to get bourbon that is not Jack Daniel's or regular Jim Beam, and I never see those been used. Are those that bad? Well, here's the thing. Jack Daniel's is technically Tennessee whiskey, which is now its very own whiskey. That being said, I'm pretty sure that Jack Daniel's fulfills all the legal requirements to be bourbon. I like Jack Daniel's. I do not think it's bad. There are a lot of people who have some very, 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 very dyed-in-the-wool. By the way, look at this glass stirring implement I got from Surfside Sips. It's pretty awesome. There's a lot of people who have some dyed-in-the-wool ideas about what is good and what is bad. I don't think that either of those bourbons are really bad. I know that they're not popular, and right now we're in kind of a distilling boom, you know, so that is why you don't see a lot of us like me using it. They're not terrible, though. No, not at all. And if that's what you need to use because that's the bourbon you can get, then you should use that because that's what it is. All right, so my whole live stream, I had to like pivot. So sorry, guys. I had to like pivot away from my live stream. What do we got here? Suppose you were blindfolded and served a citrus cocktail that was stirred rather than shaken. Would you be able to notice the difference based on flavor? Absolutely 100%, and I'll tell you why. Because it would not be sweet enough. Basically, the sugar would not mix with the lime well enough. And so absolutely, would be, oh, what's up, man? You did Day Drinker, nice. Very cool, my slab, very cool. Thank you for becoming a member. We are trying to pivot back into normal operations, and we do have memberships available for Barfly on YouTube now, so you can become a member at different tiers, and you get little perks for those for that membership. Plus, you get to come up on the live stream as a member, which is pretty cool. I love that. All right, I know I'm kind of doing a couple of faux pas here. First of all, I didn't chill my glass, which is a no-no, but I just didn't want to make you guys wait, and this was pivoting away from just having my whole live stream idea totally not work out because of the lack of eggs in my house, which I was running around getting everything ready today, and I did not notice. Oh, that is good. I actually like the little mix of Overholt and Jack Rye together. That's really good. Yeah, what else? The window cracks me up. Is he snowed in? I'm just asking. Yeah, no. We just do that to not see the outside, basically. And then also, there's a light right here, and that light, you would see it really, it's like we're blowing out this light because that's reflecting in that window. Basically, that window is a big pain in the ass, so that's why we do that. But it kind of does make me feel, it kind of makes you seem snowed in because we have the white walls. It's a very modern kitchen that I have. Oh, I could, but then I'd have to leave Marius. Marius is saying maybe I should try it with the fee foam. So I have that like couple dashes of fee foam, which would make a vegan sour without eggs, but I'd have to leave the set to go get it. I mean, I guess I could do that if I really wanted it, and then we could test the fee foam again on the whiskey sour. Ooh, yum. It is actually a real window. Oh, there's actually more questions from Instagram as well, so. Hold on. Do you guys think I should go do it with fee foam instead to test the foaminess? But then again, it's not going to be really the test that I wanted to do because I don't think that the foaminess would get more, or, well, maybe it would. I don't know. Maybe it would. I mean, I guess it's a foaming agent, so, maybe it would. I don't know. Proper storage shelf life of things like vermouth, citrus, and simple syrup. So here's the deal. Yes, I get this question a lot. I'd love to see a show of hands. Welcome to Professionals Club. Hey, welcome to Professionals Club, brother. Yeah, Esteban Solorzano. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Got a lot of members up in here today. That's cool. I love that. So here's the deal. How do you store vermouth, citrus juice, and simple syrup? Things like that. Well, syrups, I will tell you this, by and large, last for about, give and take, it lasts for about, I would say, 2 weeks. But it depends on whether or not you add a little vodka to your syrups. You can do that. You can also add vodka to like any type of infusions to sort of push the shelf life further. There's certain syrups like raspberry syrup you can really get away with that in. I wouldn't necessarily do that with my simple syrup. Simple syrup will last about a month, maybe a little bit less. You can tell that your simple syrup is bad because it'll have little particles of, you could actually see particles of mold kind of floating in your simple syrup. Vermouth is a big one. You have to store vermouth in the fridge. It will last you a couple of months in the fridge, but it has to be in the fridge. It is fortified wine, and if you open it and the air hits it and it oxidizes, and then you leave it out on the counter, you are going to be in a world of hurt because it's going to go bad. The vermouth inside goes bad, the wine turns, and it'll happen like that. So keep it in the fridge. You keep it in the fridge, it'll be good for 2 months. And then lime juice, lemon juice, anything with citrus only lasts a couple of days. So orange juice goes bad almost immediately. It's really best to squeeze it fresh. As you can see, I squeezed some lemon juice earlier. I put it in a bottle because I thought I was going to be making a lot of whiskey sours tonight. I guess I'm not going to be. But lime juice lasts 24 hours, no more. There's a whole movement of people that say there's a whole movement of people that believe in aged lime juice, which is basically lime juice that has been let out for 10 hours or something like that. And they say that it has a nice complexity of flavor. Personally, I don't go past a day with lime juice. There are some people who like to leave it for 2 days. I think you can get away with 2 days. Anything past 2 days, you got to throw it, you got to toss it. Really, honestly, when you're making cocktails at home, you should be juicing fresh.
A batch, I'm excited to use it. Thinking of using it with rum and guava juice. Yeah, that sounds nice. But I've never had a rock before. Would that be good? Batavia Arak is kind of like a palm. Batavia Arak is kind of like rum. But it is made out of palm sugar, I believe, and it has got a very interesting flavor profile. I would say taste it first. But yeah, I like Batavia Arak. It's really good. How long is like that for vermouth? What does that mean, Jack? What do you mean, how long is like that? Vermouth lasts 2 months inside the refrigerator. It will not last longer than 2 days outside of the refrigerator. Is it true that people order straight creme de menthe after eating meals? Yeah, I mean, it could. For me, it's a little syrupy and sweet, but I guess you could use it as like a digestif. Usually you'd order something a little bitter after the meal, and you order the lighter, sweeter stuff before the meal as an aperitif, which is a before the meal drink. Yeah, I don't know. So that's the deal on those. Where do you get bitters and why do you use a Japanese? I'm assuming you mean the Japanese bitters dasher. I use a Japanese bitters dasher because it is a more controlled dash and it is a smaller, more precise dash. So what you got to notice about bitters and the way that they're dispensed is that the amount of liquid inside the bitters dasher actually does matter. The less liquid you have, the looser your dash will be because there's more velocity as like you tip it over. The liquid has more space to go faster toward the tip, and so you get more bitters out of there, where if you fill it up really high, you get a very tight dash. The same thing goes for the dashers on an Angostura bottle, but those dashes are really big. Like an Angostura bottle dispenses a huge dash, and then also the term dash, right, which is not really it's not a measurement that we have really standardized in any way, right? So the dash from an Angostura bitters bottle is going to be different than the dash from a Fee's bitters bottle, and it's going to be different than a dash from a Regan's orange bitters bottle. So a really good way to standardize, to make sure that your dashes are the exact same size, is to use the same type of dasher bottle every time, and then you'll know that I need 4 dashes or 8 dashes or however many dashes depending on the size of the dash for your drink. That being said, whether it's an old fashioned or something, that being said, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you're still going to have to adjust the amount of bitters that you do depending on how much liquid is inside the bottle. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you. Any good books for home bar drinks? How long does sake last? Sake is a lot like wine. You got to keep it. I would keep it chilled. Although any unchilled sake that's meant to be served warm or unchilled, I would drink probably the whole bottle in a sitting or share it with friends. I'm not a sake expert, but I tend to put my sake in the fridge, and it'll last a week in the fridge, I believe, or about maybe a little more. I could be wrong on that though, but that's just from my own observations. Where would you use the freezer stones that cocktails make sense for only neat drinks? What do you mean freezer stones? Like the whiskey stones that you're putting in there instead of ice? I wouldn't use them at all because stones, if it's made out of real stone, those stones actually have minerals in them and impart a flavor into your cocktail. So I wouldn't use those. I wouldn't use them at all. I would just use ice. And anyway, you want the melt from the ice in your cocktail because it will evolve your cocktail as you go, especially in things like old fashions. Also, a little bit of water opens up the whiskey if you're drinking whiskey. So if you're going to drink it neat, or put a dab of water in it to open it up a little bit. But if you're drinking it on the rocks, just make sure to drink it in good time, but don't use whiskey stones. Sorry about the lack of eggs. Can you at least speak to the tips of egg white foam and shaking, please? Just hold on for dear life. Yes. Well, actually, this actually brings me into something that I was asked about, okay? And that is about proper shaking technique. So let's talk about proper shaking technique. Somebody has emailed me and said, listen, I can't figure out how to shake a cocktail. Every time I try to lock my shaker, I don't get a good lock and the drink ends up on me. And especially so for whiskey sours because pressure builds up inside the tin. He said he even used the Greg, allowed the chill inside there to I guess Greg figured out some way of like the coldness inside the tin, sealing your tin for you I've not known that to be true. Like anytime I haven't really put a nice lock on there, I've gotten drink all over me. But there is a specific way of doing this. I think that person, the reason why they're having a problem is because they're putting their shaker straight down in there like that. And when you do this, right, you don't get a proper lock. The way that you lock a tin is you take it and you bang it, and you have a half moon shape. So you see that the tin is flush on one side and then not flush on the other side. And then the tin is locked. You can't get it off. It is completely locked on there. I don't even have anything cold in here. I have no chill. I have no ice. And so you have a proper lock. That is a locked tin, a proper lock. Then you shake your cocktail, blah, 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 blah. You shake it, shake it, shake it. But you want to make sure you have that. So when you unlock your tin, the reason why you can do it by just slamming it is because what you want to do is you want to hit it right where the tin starts to get flush and meets each other. So the grand tin and the short tin is inside there, and you just hit it right there where it meets, and it unlocks. You see? You want to make sure you have a half moon shape, that it's not fully, it's like straight on one side and then kind of curved on the other side. It's sort of a half moon here, and then when you want to unlock it, you just hit it on the seam, and it will unlock the tin. That is doubly important for whiskey sours because when you're doing an egg white cocktail, pressure builds up in the tin and you can have it all over you. If you want proof of that, you can go to Barfly Freepour and you can watch Marius make his whiskey sour, which, by the way, Marius did a really good job on that whiskey sour. He did a great job on that whiskey sour, but he did not lock the tins properly, and he got egg white all over himself. That is true. But he did a good job, and he got very good foam for the kind of lack of stirring the lack of shaking that he did, sorry. All right, want a paper plane. Don't have Amaro Nonino, not readily available in my area. What is the best replacement, or if there are any two Amari to have on the bar? Okay, so here's the thing about subbing out Amaro. A lot of questions about subbing out Amaro, and here is the deal with it, okay? Subbing out Amaro is really difficult, and the reason why it's difficult is because Amaros are a proprietary blend, okay, of spices, bittering elements, citrus elements, and all the Amaro producers, all of their formulas are completely secret. They will not let anyone know what is in there. Other than that, most Amaros have a bitter orange kind of flavor to it. Like, this is true of Amaro Nonino. Most of them, almost all of them have this bitter orange kind of tint to it. So everyone knows there's a little bitter orange in it, but they're proprietary blends. That being said, anytime you sub, you're gonna have to do it by flavor profile, but the problem there is that you need to have a flavor, you have to have the experience of having tasted all those Amaros to have those flavor profiles memorized to be able to say, well, this subs with this and this subs with this. I saw a couple of good articles on Reddit on this that had some really good subbing advice, but I will just say that when you sub Amaro, you cannot really replace it with another Amaro because it's going to be a little bit different. Even if it's similar, it's still going to be a little bit different. And when you do that, let's say you want to make a paper plane, you don't have Nonino, so you try something else, and then maybe that just doesn't work out as well. So then you're going to have to rejigger the specs of the cocktail anyway. It's no longer going to be a paper plane. And Nonino is very, it's a kind of an expensive spirit. It's good to have. So if I were you, when I go on my travels, I would run to a liquor store and get a Nonino and bring it back. That's not to say that there aren't some subs, but I will, you know what? I'll post a little, maybe a blog post or something, or I'll post a little article on this on Barfly, the Educated Barfly website. I don't know why I struggled for that word, but I've been meaning to do some articles on the website. Maybe that'll be my first one, like how to sub Amaro or what you can do with subbing Amaro. I think that's a good idea. Hopefully that answered your question a little bit. All right, I made a paper plane with Braulio. Wow, completely different. Braulio is a completely different type of Amaro. That is Alpine Amaro. It's got Alpine herbs in it, which are kind of the same style herbs that they put in chartreuse. So that's very different, but hey, maybe it was good. Good drinks with Dom Benedictine other than a Singapore Sling. Well, if you want really good drinks, you should do a Shanghai Gin which would be 3/4 gin, 3/4 lemon, 3/4 yellow chartreuse, and 3/4 Benedictine. Really good drink. And then the other one I would say would be a Monte Carlo, which is 2 ounces of rye and 1/4 ounce of Benedictine, or 1/4 to 1/2 ounce of Benedictine, a couple dash of Angostura bitters, and an orange twist. Those are your Benedictine cocktails, my friend. Bronca recipes. I have a lot of Bronca recipes. Daryl. Thank you for becoming a day drinker, my friend. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Daryl Aramin. Is it Aramin or Aramine? There's no E, so I would say Aramin. Hopefully it's Aramin. Are there differences in different shaking forms like Japanese shaking method, the rolling method? Yes, and absolutely there is. But I will say this, that when you shake, you sort of want to have your own, you have to find a rhythm, and you kind of want it to be like a piston. There's a couple of reasons for this, okay? So there's like this, or there's like this. There's like, that's called like a two-pointed shake, right? Or this is like a rolling shake, right? And then you do this, right? Which is like whip shaking, right? But like this right here, this is like how I shake, which is 2 points. You go up. The Japanese go 3. They go like, and they do it with a cobbler shaker, which is a lot smaller. That Japanese 3-point shake's really difficult to do. I don't have very good sense of rhythm, so, but what you want to do is you want it to sound like a piston. So you want to go like, and what you're doing them there is, there's a couple of reasons why you want to do that. First of all, it's just personal shaking style. Personal shaking style is important because I would say that if you're bartending in a bar, a bartender is as much a showman as he is, or she, they, sorry, not he necessarily, but they are a showman. There's a bit of a showmanship that goes with bartending, and I think that your shake is something that is part style and showmanship, and part like kind of technique. Because basically what you're doing when you're shaking is aerating the cocktail. You're adding air, right? You're adding air, and that air circulates inside the tin and then expands. It like aerates the lime or the lemon, and you get that nice foam on top, and everything's mixed really perfectly. You added all that nice dilution to your cocktail and mixed it well. So, what should why don't you make a rum barrel to break in a rum barrel? I would say make a rum barrel, my friend, to make a rum barrel. Senor Nicholas Kent. You're welcome. It's really great. Gin, lavender, bee's knees. I missed that one. Oh, make a rum barrel. That's what I said. Chris Twiggs, me and you. We're like this, buddy. We're like this. Yeah, but maybe don't make their rum barrel. Make your rum barrel. Or make another rum barrel. Obviously, besides Angostura, are there any other bitters you think are essential for a home bar? Yes, you have to have Peychaud's bitters, and you have to have orange bitters. I like to do a mix of Fee's orange bitters and Regan's orange bitters. You'll hear me talk about it as Fegan's bitters. So I like doing those. And then, I don't know, I like a lot of the bittermans. So I do like hopped grapefruit bitters, and I think grapefruit bitters from Fee's are really good as well. I think that, I don't know, having the tiki bitters from Bittermans is a really good one as well. I mean, those are like kind of definitely a chocolate bitters, either Aztec chocolate or like the mole bitters, also from Bittermans. As you can see, I really like their bitters a lot. And then, honestly, I think that you should play with expanding your bitters. You can have a bitters collection the same way that you have, even better than a liquor collection, because you're only using them in drips and drabs and not ounces. So you can, they're a bit expensive, but you can build up a huge collection of bitters. And there are some really good bitters companies out there making some really good stuff. So, any drink recommendations with Zucca? I made a matched cocktail with 100 proof Laird's lemon garnish from Maggie Hoffman. Sorry, I said Muggle like it was Harry Potter or something. Recent book, and looking for more recipes. So. Actually, there's a couple of really good ones. So we actually did one called a Bitter Fingers, which is a viewer-created cocktail that was really good. You can look at that you can look for it on our channel. That's a really good one with Zucca. And then I also make one called a Midtown, which is a Manhattan riff, which is like a really big Amaro bomb Manhattan riff that I put on this channel a long time ago. One of my own originals, and you should check that one out because that one's a favorite at my bar. People love that cocktail. It's really good if you like big, bold flavors, and Zucca, kind of lends to that big and boldness of flavor. So check those out for sure. What is the purpose of bitters in a drink? So, the purpose of bitters in a drink is to tamp down the sweetness and to put another flavor, like another layer of flavor inside something. But basically, the bitterness will. So, if something's a little overly sweet, you add a little bitters in, and then it will kind of balance out that sweetness with the bitter flavor. That being said, it also adds its own flavor profile. So you can use it in a couple of different ways. You can use it as a flavor modifier, where you're modifying the main flavor in the cocktail. This is something called seasoning, basically. Like you use it like salt, right, where you're basically bringing out other flavors, right? You can use it as its own flavoring element, adding another line of flavor into a cocktail. Or you can use it as a support, basically bringing out other flavors in a drink by adding in the bitters. So that's what you need. How long can bitters last on the shelf? Just wondering. Bitters are usually made with alcohol, neutral grain spirit. Some companies will make it out of glycerin, but they don't have a shelf life. They'll last forever. You could have them for 100 years and they would be fine. They're made out of alcohol and dried peels and stuff, so you can definitely have them for a long, long time. I heard an analogy that bitters are like the salt and pepper of cocktails. Yeah, I mean, the people that are putting forth that analogy, it's a really good analogy, by the way, are the Death and Company guys. So they put that idea out there in their book, Cocktail Codex, and I really like that idea. And I kind of use it as well because it's a very good way to sort of describe how bitters are used. That being said, they can be used like salt, basically, or they can be used, you can either be used to bring out other flavors in your drink, or they can be used as their own flavor in a drink, or they can be used as a way to, so they can be used as a way to highlight other flavors and bring them out, or they can be used as their own kind of flavor, right? So that would be like salt and pepper, I would think. What's your favorite Midori cocktail? Well, the Midori sour, if done well with just like lemon, simple syrup, Midori, and some egg white, my friend. That is my favorite. Whoa, what else? That was an easy one, Robin. Missy won't let me in the kitchen. Can't make cocktails yet. What? How to create a good cocktail when the best cocktails have already been made. Well, here's the thing, Mr. Bradley. That's not necessarily true because, as we have learned, either from the Barfly or books that have said this very same thing, what most bartenders know is that there's only 6 templates of drinks that exist. In everything else, the multitude of cocktails, the expressions of cocktails are all just variations on that theme. And so, honestly, there's absolutely no way that you have exhausted all of your ideas, and there's so many different culinary techniques that you can get into that, to tell you the truth, you could take a cocktail that's existing and then just tweak one little element and make a whole new thing, and it could be the next modern classic. So everything that can be created has not been created and will never be, because there is an infinite number of variations, even if you have a finite number of ingredients. Let's see, not that we can think of, oh no, that was Marius. Do you have any favorite mezcal brands, cocktails? Don't know much, but living in Arizona, I'm curious. Yeah, I do. I really like, the thing is that mezcal is like a it's a growth industry right now. Mezcal has become very popular in the last 5 years. There is a ton of little boutique mezcals. I am sure that you can find a bunch that are, you're living in Arizona, I think you could find a bunch that are probably just like boutique labels that I'm not even aware of that are just from your area. But, I usually mix with, Vita Mezcal, which is like my mixing mezcal. That's what I normally that's like my normal go-to for cocktails, and that's sort of what we do on this channel. I am a mezcal enthusiast and I love it, but I'm not an expert on that particular spirit. But I would say check out your little boutique guys, because the boutique guys are going to be selling the best mezcal, because they're the ones that are like trying to break into the market. Can you recommend other good orange liqueurs besides Cointreau? Yeah, I mean, so basically you have to, there's a couple of different orange liqueurs that you can have. There are two different styles of orange liqueur. There's Curacao and there's triple sec. Cointreau is basically the triple sec style, which is going to be very light and kind of dry and then sort of sweet. And then you have the Curacao, which is a brandy base, and it's going to be a little bit sweeter and fuller, and it's using oranges from the island of Curacao. It has a very specific flavor. You should have bottles of both of those, honestly. Would it be weird to use a carton egg whites for a sour? Yeah, you know, I'm not a big fan of carton egg whites because I don't think that they make for a very good drink. I think that when we make drinks, we should make them with ingredients that are as fresh as possible. That being said, I know people who do it and they make a half-decent cocktail, so I'll leave it up to you on that one. Just a question for fun. Zombie apocalypse and the brain eaters are banging at your door. Jesus, the end is coming soon. What's the cocktail you want to drink to leave the world on your lips? Well, here's the thing, is that I would never let the zombies eat me. I'd put a bullet in my brain before I did that. But that's definitely an old-fashioned. I'm drinking an old-fashioned before I'm being taken out. That's what I want. I already did the egg white carton egg whites one. Marius, why do you keep on highlighting it? It's been done. I already answered that question. Grapefruit bitters came with a dropper. How many drops is a dash? How many drops is a dash? It depends on how big your dash is going to be, but I would say one of these is like 4 drops would be, 4 to 5 drops would be 1 dash maybe of this. Maybe, depends on the dropper too. I don't know, maybe not 4 to 5. Maybe like 3 drops would make 1 dash from here. What else? I found out that liquor isn't as good cocktail creating in my opinion, but go full molecular. Gastronomy isn't always possible for a restaurant bar to work with. Wait. Changing one small detail on a prominent cocktail isn't good cocktail creating in my opinion, but hey, you know what? I will tell you this, Mr. Jacob Bradley. Tell that to the Milk and Honey guys. So the Milk and Honey guys used templates, and their whole philosophy, the whole philosophy that Sasha Petrash came up with are minute changes. The JFK Harris is a really good example of that. It's basically a mojito, but he changed out lime for lemon and put a wine float on top and served it on a rock in a down glass. And it is a completely different drink than a mojito could be. So changing one detail in a cocktail could have profound changes on the flavors. And when you do that, you cannot call it what it was. That being said, there are those people who reconstruct cocktails by changing details of cocktails and call it the same thing because they've kept the idea intact. The thing about creating cocktails is whether or not you've kept the original idea intact. Are you in line with the idea of the creator of the cocktail or what you think it was? Or are you doing something new? And that is where you kind of fall into the line of, am I like reconstructing something to make it better but in the same way? Or am I making something completely new that has to be named something different? Look at all of the different variations on a paper plane, and you tell me that those little changes didn't have a massive impact on those flavor profiles. It was hilarious. He planned to make sours with egg whites. Yeah, it's so hilarious. I couldn't do it. I know. I forgot. I didn't even forget. The thing is that the one thing that I have had in quarantine in spades has been eggs. I have not been having to go and get eggs. That being said, my wife made me a beautiful frittata that used 6 eggs this morning. We have half of it for tomorrow. And I just did not think that when I was at the market that I would need to get eggs because we have had eggs in spades. But the one time that I actually needed them, I didn't have them. So it wasn't even a matter of, well, it was kind of a matter of me sort of man-scanning the fridge and then not actually seeing that we needed them. Just, you know, that's what it is. All right, Grizz Axman. The only Curacao I can find is the blue stuff. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you might have to, I don't know if your state or where you are, you're allowed to get spirits on the internet, but you might have to order something online to be able to get what you want. I just want to let you guys know that we have 10 more minutes left in the stream. I'm only doing an hour tonight, and the reason why I'm only doing an hour tonight is because Marius and I are going to be remote shooting some recipes. That's why I only had this one drink too, because I didn't want to be completely drunk while making new cocktail videos. But we're going to have some new videos up and about, hopefully. Hopefully it goes well. So The other thing that I forgot to mention today, guys, and I just have to because I'm just like fanboying over this right now, is that Andrew Jordan of Surfside Sips made lightsaber straws, guys. Look at this. He made a lightsaber straw. I want to bring that closer to you so you guys can see it. So he made a whole bunch of these different lightsaber straws. And then the other thing that he did is he asked me if there was anything that he could make me out of glass that was not a straw. And I said what I wanted to do is see if he could copy this design for a swizzle stick out of glass. But he said the little spines would probably break off. And so he made one for me he made a couple different ones. One that has like a twist on the end and then one that has blades instead. So I really want to get swizzling some cocktails with these. But the other thing, the pièce de résistance that he made me is he made me a glass muddler. Look at this thing. I cannot wait to have to muddle a cocktail right now because this is just an amazing piece of equipment. So I just wanted to let you guys know that he's made this really good stuff. And if you guys request it, maybe he'll make it for you guys too. So you can check him out at surfsidesips.com. And if you want 20% off on your order, just type in Barfly at checkout. All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging, bro. Thank you, Digital Smitty. Thanks for the super chat as well. Shrubs are fruit syrups. Yes, they are. That use vinegar to make acidity, and they are wonderful in cocktails. I actually have a habanero lime shrub in my mango shrub in my fridge. I love it to death. It is amazing. Was also curious about absinthe drinks. Got a bottle for absinthe, wash for Sazeracs, but leaves a lot of bottle. There's a million absinthe drinks that you can go. Just go to Barfly, type in absinthe Barfly in YouTube search, and you will have a whole list of cocktails that you can do with absinthe. There's a whole bunch. They wash a ton of different tiki cocktails. You can do a bunch of washes. You can make an absinthe frap, which is like a little simple syrup, absinthe and crushed ice. It's really nice. What else? What do we got here? What's your take on a Cimarron Reposado tequila in cocktails? Super popular among bartenders in the ATX. I mean, it's decent. It's decent tequila. That's what I would say. I only use Reposado a little bit. There are certain Reposado cocktails that I do. Not a ton, but I like it. Cimarron's okay. Seems like he could get into a couple of different markets with the looks of that muddler. Yes. But you know what? Here's the question, though. Don't all muddlers kind of look like dildos? Don't they all look exactly like dildos? They kind of all do. The wood ones, though, don't really call that to mind. But this thing, dude, look at this, dude. I had a collection of muddlers that were made out of glass from the 1920s, but they're tiny. They're these really little muddlers. This thing, though, it seems like it's really solid and strong. And it's slick looking. I like it. I really like it. I see what you're saying, though. Keep some difference from the glass. Don't use the first flare of a match. Sulfur is not tasty. And decide if you want a bit of smoky flavor caramelization in your drink or not. It is a matter of taste. All right, what else? Stop touching it. I'm not going to stop touching it. I'm not going to stop touching it ever. What else? All right, guys, I guess that's it. All right? Are we done? Are we done for this Monday? We'll be back next Monday. Thanks for joining us here. I love it. I love doing these. These are really fun. Next week, we're doing the whiskey sour thing, and I'm not going to mess it up. I promise you guys that. What else we got? Fat wash cocktails next time, please. Oh, can I show you guys something? I'm going to make you guys jealous. Look at this. Look at this. Hold on. Before we leave, I was fat washing. Right here. Check it out. I was coconut fat washing some tequila. And as you can see, I took it out of the freezer, and the coconut disc is right on top here. You want to pull it out? Here, let's pull it out. Let's get a little, here. You know what? Use a little. So there you go. There's my coconut fat disc out of my coconut vodka. Basically, I made some coconut vodka. I'm doing a really nice cocktail video utilizing this. But yeah, we can talk about fat washing for sure. I do have a video that we just released on it, though, buddy. We just did a Benton's Old Fashioned and how to bake and fat wash bourbon video, just like a couple of videos ago. So check that out. Just brought a Surfside Lightsaber Straw. Nice, dude. Yeah, the Lightsaber Straw is the shit. Dude, I'm going to be making some Disney Star Wars cocktails with those Lightsaber Straws. So let's buckle in, my friend. Malort shot. Oh, not for $2, Darren. And I got to shoot cocktails. I'm not getting all messed up on Malort. But not for $2. $2, I'll look at the bottle. Here. Since you super chatted me $2, I'll look at the bottle lovingly. My Malort. I love my Malort. There, I looked at it lovingly for $2. I was always interested in cocktails, but you are the one who actually pushed me to cocktail making. Your recipes are functional and practical. Thank you for everything, buddy. Well, thank you for saying so. A lot of my talent, though, is in curating the recipes because some of those recipes are mine, but a lot of them are other bartenders, and I just wanted to... Malort shot 2! Okay, I'll look at it again for another $2. It's going to take at least $10 super chat to get me to do a shot of that, especially since I've got to shoot cocktail videos, guys. You guys don't want me to be sloppy drunk while making cocktail videos, do you? We got to actually figure out how to do it. Okay, $2 and I smell it. All right, I'll smell it for $2. All right, here we go. Yep, smells like Malort. Kind of citrusy, kind of bitter. Kiss it? Okay, mwah, kissed it. Malort shot 3. I don't know how much CRC 1000 is, though. Esteban, you got to tell me how much that's worth in American dollars in USD. What is 1000 CRC in USD? God, you love this. This is becoming a thing, this whole Malort shot at the end of the live stream thing. $6,000 today. Got to take a fireball swig for 15 next time. Oh, CRC 1000 is $1. So here we go. I'll kiss it again for that. $1.72, about $1.76. So I got $1.79, $1.76, and $1.72. Not all of you can be wrong. $1.80. Ha ha ha. Nice. I like it. Esteban, you're a practical joker, my friend. Everyone's saying $1.76, $1.90, rounded up to $2. All right, I kissed it for $2. All right, we'll round it up. I'll round it up. You cheeky guy. Marius says it's definitely $1.76. That's what he's saying right now. I wish I could videotape what he does in the text edit program when he's talking to me because it's really funny. All right, so we up to $5 total for that second shot. I don't know. Add another $5 and I'll do the shot. I said $10 gets the shot. I gotta shoot stuff today, so that's my price. That's my price, you guys. All right, just ordered some Surfside sip straws to try. They're awesome, dude. You'll really like them. Use the promo code to support. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it, Keenan. Surfside sips are the cheese in it. That's why I have so many. And not only that, this is not my full Surfside sip. This is just what I brought out for the live stream. Look at these little Easter Island tiki straws that he did. They're pretty awesome. I love them. This is just like some of the new stuff I got. I have a whole collection of Surfside sips because I love them. This is how we communicate. It is how we communicate. That's right. No, I like it. You're showing that to everybody. That's nice. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'll see you on another time. Can you do a cocktail next time with Anchor Old Tom Gin? You mean this little guy right here? This little guy right here? Yeah, we can do something with Anchor Old Tom. I got it. I got a bottle. Are you guys just looking at the back bar and asking me to do stuff with it? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're 2 minutes. You guys got 2 minutes. Ooh, $5 for a Malort shot. I can get behind. Okay, fine. All right. All right. You guys, you did it. We did $10. Well, we're going to do a Malort shot, evidently. Do I have my little shot glasses here? No. All right. Well, I'll estimate a shot in a glass, I guess. Here. Do I have some of my little shot glasses in here? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm going to measure out the Malort because usually when I pour... Shot of Malort. All right, I'm doing it. Thank you for the super chat, and here we go. All right. Here we go. Cheers. Ooh. Oh, last time I did shots of Malort for you guys, I had a really big hangover. All right, done. Shot of Malort. Ooh, honestly, the more you drink Malort, the more you get used to it. It's really not that bad. If you guys really wanted to torture me, you'd ask me to do shots of this. But I'm not going to do a shot of that for under 30 bucks. Is that 2 Malort shots then? Oh, you motherfucker. It is 2 Malort shots. Marius is trying to get me drunk. All right, that's 2 Malort shots. That's right, because Sarah did 10, and then you guys put together 10. Malort, Monte, 50-50, Elliot Montero. You fucker. You motherfucker. All right, you do. You Elliot. All right, but I'm gonna short pour the Malort. Well, no, I'm not. All right, I'm gonna short pour the Monte. Oh man, this is gonna be oof. I kind of feel like this should be a 50-50 shot. So, all right, there you go. That's a 50-50 shot. All right, oh, fuck. I'm supposed to be shooting videos, guys, and now I'm gonna be drunk because of you guys. All right, here we go. Ooh, hey, I gotta say, Jepson's Malort and the Montenegro is really not bad together. That's actually pretty damn good. That is pretty goddamn good. All right, that's it. I'm not taking money for shots anymore. All right, guys, this is the last shot. There you go. We're past our hour mark. We're done. All right. See you guys on another time. We're going to be shooting some videos. Hopefully, I'm not going to be stumbling upon everything that I have to say now because of all this shots business. And I will see you guys next Monday. Remember to check Instagram for our... That's where I'm disseminating like all the information on what we're going to be shooting. I'll do something on fat washing next week for sure, but remind me. I'll definitely do the whiskey sour reverse dry shake test that I botched today. And I don't know. I will do a couple other things next Monday. Have a good week, guys. Stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy. Do anything that you can. Stay home. All right, stay home, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. See you guys on another time. All right, here we go. I'm gonna end the stream. Who's gonna end it, man? Are you gonna end it? Love you too, Chris Twiggs. Or am I gonna end it? Who's ending it?